Exams, I would say it tests your skills. It doesn't test your knowledge. And I think that is a stark difference between Indian universities and at least here in Sweden. At least with KI, I can say with confidence. We did have very few courses, but the primary of the learning was happening in the laboratory. That was happening there at the topmost professors. And when I say professors, they are not, people who come and teach lectures. These are all, in KI, we have the concept of all professors need to be. There is no classification per se. You are a top ranking student, you are an average student. They only focus on motivating you to do that. That's why I said this is a perfect place for people who are really interested in research, who wants to just develop their being part of Europe. I wanted someone who had the expertise to guide me and who has been doing this for a quite while. And I did ask around, and Europe Study Center was one of the topmost recommendations at that point of time. And of course, when I came in and I met Almas ma'am, she was the first person I met in Europe Study Center, and the way she explained things, the way she put down the information was more than enough for me to be like, okay, you know what, let's start the process.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. In our continued series of student interviews, we have an interesting student today, our student Manoj, studying in Sweden. I welcome Manoj to the show. Hello Manoj.
Thank you, sir. Hello, nice to meet you.
Yes, wonderful. So, can you introduce yourself to the audience? Instead of me introducing and talking about you, if you say, it will be even better. Yeah.
Absolutely. I am Manoj Dinakaran. I'm a recent graduate from the Karolinska Institute of Medicine here at Stockholm, Sweden. I did my master's in biomedicine at Karolinska. Previously, I was an undergraduate student from Anna University.
Wonderful. Excellent. So, after your 12th, did you choose biotechnology by somebody else's choices, or right from your school days, you are more inclined towards these life sciences and biotechnology?
Biotech and biomedicine has been a bit of a passion for me for a very long time, to be honest. 12th standard, post-12th standard, I did make an informed decision to take biotechnology. So it was not a recommendation or a forced decision upon me, but this was a choice that I took.
Yes, because especially all the successful life science students I have seen, it's basically their interests.
Yes, absolutely.
They wanted to study this and they would take all possible efforts to reach all possible heights, because by this domain itself, it requires a lot of patience, a lot of efforts.
And a lot of perseverance, to be honest.
Exactly. Patience, in a sense, I meant the perseverance also. Yeah, because I have a lot of friends in the life science domain. So, a little bit more about your undergraduation. So, this shows are basically to explain the flow and the progress that the student has made by studying abroad, comparing with studying in India and all these aspects. So, for the audience to understand the flow. So, a little bit about your bachelor's so that we proceed to the master's.
Bachelor's, again, though my main university was Anna University, I studied in a college called Shasta Institute of Technology, again in Chennai. Yeah. And as an affiliate college, my program was pretty rigid, and it was designed in a very fixed curriculum. But one great aspect that I really loved about my college was the support that I got from my professors and mentors, especially. And they encouraged me a little bit to diversify my background. So that prompted me to do multiple internships at IITs and national institutes across India. And yes, that actually defined my interest. Again, biotechnology is a very diverse field. It talks about medicine, it talks about engineering, it talks about industrial preparation. It's a very diverse field. But then one of my most turn points was that I had an internship at IIT Kharagpur, and where I was able to meet with the top scientists at that point of time to have my classes taken with them. And there, my interest for health sciences developed a little bit. And then when I came back from Gorakhpur for my thesis, I decided to do my undergraduate thesis, which is about 6 months in National Institute of Epidemiology under Dr. Girish Kumar. And that actually was what set my path. I was like, I want to learn about human biology, and moreover about diseases and how diseases are infecting and how they are taking a chance in that. So that was my bachelor experience. And but post my bachelor's, I took a little bit of a turn. Maybe
I saw your profile before the interview. You graduated in 2019, took little time, then started your master's basically. Exactly. Yes, please.
The reason behind that was that I did multiple projects. Again, staying in my university and my college, I had the opportunity to interact with multiple scientists and multiple postdocs at that point of time. And I was involved in multiple projects. And one project actually prompted me to, made me realize, it's not enough if you just study. You need to put your experience, knowledge, and whatever you have learned into practice. So that prompted me to, from 2019 to 2022 beginning, I chose to step out of academia for a while and work with another wonderful non-governmental organization known as Hibiscus Foundation for Social Welfare, currently for which I am an advisor at the moment. But I started out there as an intern, writing scientific articles for them, trying to educate general population about healthcare and how personal hygiene healthcare works. And we did multiple other projects with the WHO, the UN projects, and those were happening at that point of time, where I was able to put my learned experiences from National Institute of Epidemiology, IITs, and my own learning to practice and help people from marginalized background to a greater extent. And at that same moment, I also decided that I wanted to learn about the human health system as a holistic system. So that prompted me to do a master's in psychology, a master's in yoga and alternative therapies, and a master's master's in English literature. So 3 different bases to understand health from a cultural perspective, from a mental health perspective, and from a social and an alternative perspective to help people.
Yeah. Wonderful. So you actually did these master programs from after 2019, you mean?
Yes.
When you were working?
When I was working. So these were part-time. I took them all as part-time, except for the master's in English literature. I did it as a full-time because I wanted to immerse myself in understanding how cultural backgrounds and culture can be a contributing factor to health. So that was some full-time master's.
Very inspiring, actually. You are like working as well as exploring these aspects, which is amazing. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you
so what made the switch then comes to that? And thanks to all your professors, I believe you are very, very fortunate enough to have nice professors guiding you all the way through, because I've seen a lot of life sciences students, Manoj, getting wrongly guided and they feel bachelor's is enough.
No, I would never
exactly
say.
That's what I said. People have guided you properly. A lot of people with a lot of wrong guidances, they stop after bachelor's or they stop after master's. But I always tell them, life sciences, you have to keep going further and further and further.
I would say, again, I had really good support from my professors and mentors. I'm really, really thankful for them. May not just be in my life science, but also from my other courses, like from yoga therapy or English literature. I was like the odd one out in all these aspects, because I was trying to understand health from a different dimension. Like, understanding health from a cultural perspective was something new at that point of time in the course that I was doing. And in all these aspects, a professor's guidance does make a difference, because I was trying to experiment a lot. I was trying to understand what was happening in a completely different dimension. And at that point of time, their guidance made a lot of difference. The switch, why did I make a switch back again to life science and academia? Well, again, I was also working as a therapist again for Hibiscus Foundation there. When I was working, I came across some of my clients who I used to work with. And
Wow.
one of the clients actually made me realize, it's not enough if we rely on systems, different systems,
Okay.
improve one's health, but you have to focus on your own immune system and how your immune, if you're able to modulate your own immune system to help and fight better, the results are much more effective and much more faster. So that prompted me to understand the question, what is that actually drives your immune system, and what can modulate your immune system? What are the governing factors within your immune system that actually makes you susceptible to diseases or fight these diseases better? So in that aspect, the one clear choice was, again, for me to go back to school, start from the scratch again from a molecular perspective. So that prompted
So
me to come to
wonderful.
Sweden.
So this provoked you, like, made you think, okay, let's get back to studies. But
Yes,
that was always on your mind, I guess, as you will be well informed, I guess. Masters by default is required for a life science student.
yes.
Yes.
Again, as I said, it's a lifelong journey. I don't think you would ever stop. I mean, once you enter the life science field, I don't think you will ever be able to stop learning.
Wonderfully said.
My,
Wonderfully
my
said.
my professors, like even today, my own mentors and my own guides here at Karolinska, they also sit down, do homeworks, they do a lot of reading, at least on a
Yes.
daily basis. They
Yes.
read at least 5 articles without fail. They sit down with the paper and they read through every journal and article to keep
Yes.
themselves updated, because that's
Literally, yeah,
past.
literally these professors would dedicate their life to the subject. And that
Exactly.
vibration and that experience and knowledge flows to the students also. This way, the learning
Absolutely.
and everything is like holistically done for the betterment of the world, student, everything.
Yes, and that is what I keep telling myself also. Like every day, I sit down with at least my textbook, because it's because there's so much information. Either you forget the information, or the information that you read 4 years ago is no longer holding still
Yeah.
today. It
Yeah.
gets updated on a daily basis. When I started my bachelor's, I mean, if you talk about sequencing, understanding what is there in the DNA, we used to do these techniques called Sanger sequencing or shotgun sequencing. Now
Mm-hmm.
you have so much advancement that what we studied back then, even though it is a bit relevant, people are advancing so much farther, and we are able to go look at things at a very molecular level that we were not able to do before. And so, which
Yes.
means I need to keep updating myself on a daily basis to keep up to what is happening in the society, in the field, and in the domain.
100%. So now, then you decided to do your master's. Then how did you get
Yes.
to know about Europe Study Center?
Well, Europe Study Center, I was actually going through a lot of websites, and I was looking through a lot of people. And one of the best recommendations and one of the comments on your or the reviews on the website actually prompted me, what, maybe, I should try here first. Let me talk,
Okay.
because I was always looking to apply to some of my most favorite universities. To be honest, KI, Karolinska, was not on the top of my list because it was one of the topmost universities, seventh in the world, and top 15
Yeah, we will.
universities.
Yeah, we will come to that,
Come
because
to
I also have
that.
something more to say to KI, which you will be
Yes,
surprised,
of
by the way.
course.
So yeah, you can
Um,
you can say, yeah.
And my goal initially was to go to Utrecht in the Netherlands. And again, being part of Europe, I wanted someone who had the expertise to guide me and who has been doing this for a quite while. And I did ask around, and Europe Study Center was one of the topmost recommendations at that point of time. And of course, when I came in and I met Alma's ma'am, she was the first person I met in Europe Study Center. And the way she explained things, the way she put down the information was more than enough for me to be like, okay, you know what, let's start the process, let's get going. So that was
Yeah.
that.
On top of it, nobody will promote. For example, let's talk about KI itself.
Mhm.
Just for Manoj's knowledge, nobody else in India will promote KI as a study option for students. Any wild guess, Manoj?
The intake is very strong and competitive, first of all, and not
Those are
many
all
of.
small factors, but the important, this is basically for the audience and also for Manoj to know why
No,
nobody
yes.
promotes KI. Can I say
Yes,
the answer?
absolutely.
Yes, because KI doesn't have the concept of paying commission to the agents.
Yes,
They have world-renowned universities, but all these people, in this abroad education domain, only promotes colleges and universities where they get paid, and the students' interest, future, everything is put aside or even trashed in most of the cases. Because here, as we always say, we send the students to that particular country's premier university. If not, if you're not entering into the premier university in that country, change the country. Don't dig deeper when it comes to the university rankings country wise. This is what
Yeah,
we say.
this is something very true because like
Yes.
this was actually a question that I asked Almas ma'am, because like we were applying to almost all the topmost universities in each of the countries that we were applying
Exactly,
in.
Manoj. Manoj, irrespective of your marks, irrespective of your interest, we follow the simple mantra. If possible, send the child to top university. If not, have a golden handshake, wish them all the best, move to the next file. Very
Yeah,
simple.
and
As you know,
and
I don't promote medicine abroad. I don't promote medicine abroad. I don't send all these 1 year courses. Why do we sit and study? We need to develop our skills and move forward in life. When this education cannot help us to develop our skill set, then it's of no use. So, how did the process
absolutely.
go at Europe Study Center?
Well, it was pretty straightforward, and
Okay.
Almas ma'am just gave me a set of recommendations. She first started with, what do you want to do? Like, what are you interested? And I told, like, I want to look at things at a molecular level. I want to study molecular life sciences, or a course that can help me achieve my goal to diversify a little bit, but at the same time be dependent on the core. That is, to look things from a molecular perspective. And she said, okay, you know what? Give me some time. I need to look at my own resources, come up with a college list. So she came up with college lists and few countries, and then we went through back and forth. I had to also look at the courses and see if it is matching, and then we came to decide about 6 universities and 7 universities in total. And again, to point out to just what we were talking, and all these 7 universities were like topmost. And I was like, ma'am, do we not have a backup? Do we not choose a backup? She was like, no, we will apply to these 7 universities and we make sure
Exactly,
that.
brother. So then,
Yeah.
how was the first initial experience? Once you joined KI, how did you feel? Because it's one of the topmost universities, especially in the Schengen zone, especially for life sciences. So, what did you feel about it?
First week was amazing. Like, you're sitting in the House of the Nobel Assembly. Like, you have the Nobel laureates being chosen from, chosen by here at the very heart of KI. I mean, it was a very proud moment. And of course, KI's application process and, to get into KI was itself a challenge. And to be there as one of the top candidates, because they screen from a lot of candidate pools, and you being able to make it to KI was a very proud moment. So the first 1 month, 1 week was absolutely amazing. But then your challenges, of course, start.
Yes.
You have your courses, and most of all, the difficulty was in getting accustomed to the culture. So, culture shock is something that people don't prepare you for. And it was a culture shock, to be honest. I was like feeling like a fish out of the water at the beginning. But then it took some time for me to get used to the culture. Now I'm like fully accustomed. I can speak a
Yeah,
little bit Swedish, and
that's the whole, Manoj, that's the whole challenge, right? We get to situations, slightly get uncomfortable, then get comfortable. This is how you explore and grow in life. Other than just,
absolutely.
being in the same place and always being in the comfort zone will eventually take you to a very, very uncomfortable zone, basically.
Yes,
Yes.
and all
So,
that
so you
happened.
started liking KI, and really, how does this classes, professors, examination, something about that, about
I
KI?
was in love with KI. I
Okay.
am still in love with KI, so I will underline that.
So it's
Um,
not present past tense, it's present tense also.
it is still continuing, and I'm still in love with KI. I still go to some of the courses even after graduation. You can still choose to take some courses post your graduation to continue your education here a little bit longer. So I'm just trying to improve on my skills and a little bit of lab work and that. I really love KI because here the focus is research
Yeah.
only, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Unlike other universities where they focus too much on theory and very less on practical, here it is
Yeah.
just the opposite. You learn your theory through practice. So my
Yes.
master's course is entirely, I would call it as a research master's because we did have very few courses, but the primary of the learning was happening in the laboratory. That was happening there at the topmost professors. And when I say professors, they are not people who come and teach lectures. These are all in KI. We have the concept of all professors need to be in the research field. You have to be having an active research group working there. So you are learning real time about research there at the heart of clinical advancement or your foundational advancement itself. So you're at the topmost place with a high focus on research and research alone. So
Yes.
at
That's
the
why
beginning,
that's why
always
whenever
a
it comes to life sciences, I always say KI, Uppsala, Stockholm will be my top choices when it
top
comes to
choice.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Even more than KTH or Chalmers, even Lund University also, because these four universities majorly focus on life sciences related subjects basically compared
Absolutely.
to
And each one has its own field
niche.
of expertise. Exactly. Like KTH, I wouldn't say any other university can compete with KTH for engineering, and especially
Yes.
bioengineering. KTH is the
Yes.
hub. KI is more related to medicine and clinical sciences. Uppsala for fundamental research. Again, you have Hovde is for computational biology. So each one has its own niche. So they all,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they all integrate into one nice circle, and we have collaborations. And that is what I really loved about KI because I had the opportunity to collaborate with so many other professors, so many other people, students across the nation, and
Wonderful.
we shared. So we have this concept of sharing knowledge,
Mhm.
and that is
Mhm.
very, very present here at the universities in Sweden.
Wonderful. So then coming to the how does the examinations work on when it comes to KI and your subjects? How does the examination
Right.
happen? Because one of the student purposefully asked me to ask this question. Sir, how does the
Right.
exams happen? Yes.
Exams, I would say it tests your skills. It
Yeah.
doesn't test your knowledge. And I think that is a stark difference between Indian universities and here at least here in Sweden. At least with KI, I can say with confidence, they test your skill rather than your writing ability or your ability to keep your knowledge and write stuff down. So here the questions are extremely practical. They don't
Yes.
ask a straightforward question. So rather, they give you a problem. So you have to solve the problem. Like I had one course in bioinformatics. So we were given problems and we had to deal with the problem, try to. So our answers were answers to the problem, not not a straightforward question or a concept itself. And examinations are one part of your grading because here the grading is divided into assignments and examination. So
Yes.
I would have equal amount or more or less equal amount with regards to my assignments and examination. So if you are able to keep up with your assignments, do your assignments diligently, you can score really well in your examinations per se, where it is completely application oriented. And for those who are really worried about marks, I don't this will be a paradise for them because here in Sweden you don't have marks, you have only pass or fail. So everybody is treated here equally, so they don't say, oh, you got 60 marks, you are an average student, you got 90 marks, you are a really good student. No, that distinction is not here. So here
Excellent.
learning
Excellent.
equal
Very
to all.
important point, as our friend Manoj says, because Manoj, many students they visit my office, they say, sir, I am average student. That's how they start. I said, stop. Who told you you are an average student? No, sir. My professor told me, my teacher told me. Please ignore all those things. Nobody can term any student just with your memory-based examination system. Nobody can be termed as an average student or a brilliant student. I just categorize students into two different categories. Interested to study, of course, not interested to study. We just ignore them. That's all. So, which is a very...
And that's what happens here as well, because here the class again, there is no classification per se. You are a top ranking student, you are an
Yes,
average student. They only focus on motivating you to do that. That's why I said this is a perfect place for people who are really interested in research, who wants to
research.
just develop their skill set, because the focus here in developing your skill set and critical thinking, that is all the focus is about. So if you're
Yes,
not, even if you're not able to come to that level of critical thinking, the courses are designed in such a way that you are made to adapt and evolve, and that's what I was able to do. And coming from a predominantly Asian brought up, those barriers of thinking, in classification, putting myself in a box, was actually broken here in Sweden. I was able
wonderful.
to develop a lot of these critical thinking skills here, I would say.
That's the whole aim of going abroad and studying, right? Where you'll be able to come out of the box, break all these prototypes, stereotypes, and keep moving ahead.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
We stick to this KI or Uppsala and all these universities where the students get a lot of exposure. So the university is more important than the country, I feel.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
University plays a major role, because end of the day, you need to choose what you actually want. I was very particular about KI after a lot of discussion, and then when we made a choice to apply for KI, I chose KI because of its course syllabus. Like before, and this is something that I think most of the students fail to look at, is because we either look for the prestige of the institution or prestige of the country, and we fail to notice the importance of the course, or how the course is going to develop, and what are
Exactly.
the outcomes.
Exactly. The prestige of the country. My son is studying there, my son is studying there, and all those things. But whether he is studying a 1-year degree or a PG diploma, nobody even cares about. But this is what people, look beyond these things. But as Manoj said, it's very, very important, the university which you studied. And by the way, I got to know from my team that, you've been given 2 awards basically. So
Yes.
please enlighten me, myself, as well as the audience about the awards.
I got 2 awards. One was from the student union here. We have a very strong culture of student unions here in, at least I will speak for Sweden. At least for my university, we have a very good student union where you are allowed to express yourself, because studying is not the only thing that you need. You also need a little bit of life outside of academia, and that's where you come with student union. And I'm
Yes.
a person who is really passionate about, contributing back to the society that is helping me. So I wanted to do a lot of voluntary contributions to my student union, and for that means I was awarded Crux Parva Medicorum, which is one of the high awards from the student union, where it is given for involuntary contributions to the maximum for students. So that was one award for my contributions to the student union and trying to help international students integrate with the culture. So that was one award. And the second award was given to me by Karolinska Institutet. It's called as the Work Environment Safety Awards for my contributions in working and revising and helping, to improve on the work environment safety structures that were present in the university. So again, but
So
very
happy to know.
important. Thank you so much. And the most important thing for me here, from both the sides, was that the spirit of collaboration. Because in most of the times, people will be like, "Oh, will the university listen to what the student is telling?" Or, "Okay, I am a foreigner in this country. Will they even value my words?" But here, these 2 awards, I would say, more than being a honor for me, is a standing testament as to how a person can integrate themselves and how open-minded both a university and a student union can be in terms of accepting a student into their own culture and integrating. So
Wonderful
that's
and great to know all these achievements. And I would also like to know like about your friends networking. I'm sure you will have from a lot of countries. Little bit about that.
Yes, again, KI is a central hub for networking. It's a very international university, so you have people from almost all parts of the world. And my class, we were 45 students, and at least we had one student from almost every continent that was out there. We had students from America, we had students from South America, we had students from all across Europe, India, Australia. It was a very diverse group, which meant a lot of different cultural exposures as well. And you do get to make a lot of networks. And I was able to, at least I'm thankful and fortunate for the opportunity because I was able to network with CEOs, or we have an annual event called as Chase here at Karolinska, where we invite different entrepreneurs, industrialists all come here to gather. It's a gathering event, and you are able to network with topmost companies like AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk.
Wow.
They are all here, so it is a good hub for collaborating and networking. And I also was able to go to other conferences and other parts of the Europe for a brief moment to see what are the other perspectives of science that are existing. So it's a really good set, and I have a lot. I was able to make a lot of friends, and I was able to connect with a lot of people, share passion on shared passions and networking. And again, that's a good example is my voluntary work at the student union, and the student union represents around 2,500 students plus. And where on a daily basis, you are able to meet people from different groups, different countries, and you can expand your network a lot.
Okay. So I should have asked this question before, but you would have had a lot of country options, right? Europe as a whole, UK, Ireland, or Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US. So what made you to choose Europe, basically?
To be honest, KI was there, but indirectly, because I wanted to either get into work with Uppsala and because we have the medical, KI is the center hub for medicine, and we do a lot of medical science research and advancements. And KI is one of the few universities that has the Department of Neuropsychoimmunology, which discusses about the interactions of the from the immune systems, from the from the neuroscience perspective and psychological perspective. I was passionate about all these three, and having one of a dedicated department, that made me choose, I want to be here at least close to the university where I'm able to network and get in touch with.
Yes, Manoj, because people make wrong choices and blame biotechnology end of the day, which slightly disappoints me. For example, they choose a low-ranked university, or they go for a one-year degree, and then they complain, okay, oh, biotechnology, I put so much effort, it did not give me this, that, and all those things. We make all the mistakes, and we cannot blame plainly on the domain. That's why, as I told you before, I don't promote all these one-year courses for any departments, basically. Yes. So we discussed many aspects, and even though I have lined up a lot of interviews, at least like 20-25 students, I scheduled all the life science students first, because I want many people to get into this particular domain, get inspired from these interviews. So much research activities to be done, so much explored in the area of life science domain. Not to students, people thinking nowadays only computer science is future. Certainly not. There is so much to life beyond computer science, which I wanted to exhibit to the students and parents. So much things to do, brother, because see, all blindly going behind computer science, whether they like it, they don't like it. They feel we are born in this world, we should study only artificial intelligence. That is
And
that is how.
I think if you come to at least here to Sweden, I would definitely say we are okay. Let's say you're passionate about computer science. You can still work on other fields. IT is not the only solution after computer science. We have bioinformaticians who
Yes,
we are also in desperate need of in the life science industry, where your
exactly.
computer knowledge and artificial intelligence. Like I'm having a course
Just
starting
to
in January that talks
mm,
about AI in healthcare. So even if you
exactly.
do a computer science, you can choose other fields in medicine. So
There was a recent report from Anna University which said, students, please don't choose AI as your core subject. Look at AI as a tool for your core engineering topics, which will take you to even greater heights. That's
absolutely. I think people need to
yes.
be a little bit open, not engineering. I mean, like when I was studying back in 2019, 2015 to 19, people used to say engineering, you take only mechanical, or you take computer science engineering and you don't shift. But I think people need to be a little bit open towards exploring other avenues. Yes, there are challenges, but what is life without challenges? So I would say
Well said.
be a
Well
little
said.
bit more open and try to explore. And
Wonderful.
yeah,
Very, 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 very inspiring. And, which will, these interviews not only for the students, it will inspire parents, Europe Study Center staff members, and also it's a proof of what we are trying to do. And I am soul-handedly, fighting in this abroad education domain. I don't send a student to UK or Ireland. It's so easy to promote all those countries. For example, in Ireland or UK, you get the offer letter in 2-3 days. Not like in Sweden where we have to wait for 3 to 4
months
months, right?
together to for your results, and
Bro,
it's
no
a bit of
pain,
a
no gain.
yes.
Student to join IIT Madras, he prepares most likely from his 6th grade. For any
True.
other universities you want to join in India, you don't have to, the student need not prepare anything. Only the parent needs to prepare their bank balances. That's all.
Yes.
For your surprise, for you to know, the bachelor's fees in India nowadays is 7 lakhs a year. This is the fee
Wow.
structure that they charge in the universities in here, and people are still paying for it. This is, in fact, to do their bachelor's or even master's in European countries is much cheaper compared to studying it in India. Oh,
There
yeah.
are so many scholarships. I think, and that is another aspect. There are so many scholarships. People are promoting science. Uh, Science is developing, and people just need to look out for these opportunities and apply for them, and they are open and they are always welcoming. So I would say, have a little bit faith, a little bit of persistence. You will make a long journey, I would say.
Wonderful, wonderful, excellent. And myself, on behalf of my team and all the students and parents who will be watching this video, thank you so much. In between your busy schedule, to accept our request to come forward, give us your time, and share your experience with us. Really, really valuable. Thank you so much, Manoj, for this.
No, thanks to you, because again, without Europe Study Center, again, I wouldn't have made this much far. I had my doubts and I had my challenges as well. But at every single step, I was able to make that because with the support of Europe Study Center Coimbatore, Almas ma'am, Vainavi ma'am, Sindhu ma'am, they were all there at every single
Yes.
step. Even when the results were getting delayed, they were like, "It's okay, we are here. We will somehow figure out how to, prepare you even for the interviews. They were like, okay, these are the things you have to expect. This is how you need to be prepared yourself, read on this." So, that support meant a lot for me to come this far. So I'm
That's
thankful for
why,
you, for your
yes,
team.
thank you so much, Manoj. That's why in a competitive country like India, we are the number one company without any sort of competition, basically, because every student is important. Every student's progress and activities and all those things are important, so that, the end of the day, the student, the parent, as well as us, we all are happy. Yes.
Yes,
Wonderful.
absolutely.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, and we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. And somewhere down the line, next 4-5 years, maybe we will meet in Stockholm in the upcoming next year,
I
maybe.
hope to. I'm looking forward
100%,
and hope to.
100%. It's been a long time since I also traveled to Europe. So we will surely meet up, and wish you all the best on behalf of Europe Study Center. And
Thank you.
best wishes.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Have a good day.
All the best, Tambi. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.